Now at 6, a Joplin woman is sentenced for drug trafficking plus.
Why a Nevada resident was denied a vasectomy. Jalen Banks with more.
And how the extreme heat affects the homeless community in Joplin.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Joplin firefighters have apparently gotten control of a fire at a manufacturing plant. This is KOAM News at 6. Joplin firefighters have been battling flames at the Owens Corning complex on State Line Road. We have no reports of injuries. The fire was reported around 1:45 this afternoon. Some firefighters cut a hole in the roof, apparently to get access to the fire. Others worked inside the building. They appeared to have that fire under control in about an hour. The Owens Corning plant in Joplin makes insulation. A Joplin woman accused of killing a Joplin couple in a crash learns her sentence for an earlier crime. Rita Glasgow was originally charged with drug possession in 2017. In February of 2020, she was charged with drug trafficking. Then, authorities say in January of last year, Glasgow was intoxicated when she drove a stolen pickup into an SUV. Terry and Rhonda Copel of Joplin both died from injuries in that crash. In February of this year, Glasgow began serving a 7-year prison sentence for the 2017 case after she failed to complete a court-ordered program. Well, now a judge has sentenced her to serve 4 years to be served concurrently for the 2020 case. She's already pled guilty in that fatal crash, and she's to be sentenced in that case on July 25th. Uncertainty about abortion rights after the Supreme Court ruling overturning Roe v. Wade has more men asking about vasectomies. KOAM's Jalen Banks has why some Missouri men might face some unexpected obstacles when they try to get one.
In wake of the Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, there's been a spike in men getting vasectomies. The state of Missouri has conscience laws, which give healthcare providers the right to choose whether or not they provide certain services due to religious freedoms. That is what one Missouri man ran into.
He asked if I had any children. I told him no, that I also didn't want any children. He then said that he wouldn't perform the vasectomy on principle because he's a devout Catholic and that it's his personal belief that everyone needs to provide at least 2 children to the church. And so he wouldn't perform the vasectomy on anyone that didn't already have 2 children.
Chris says the reason why he wanted the vasectomy done is because his partner has complications giving birth.
She has health issues that would make it hard for her to become pregnant, but if she did become pregnant, would most likely, end in miscarriage or complications. And so with all the new laws going into effect, we discussed it, and it was just going to be simpler for me to get the vasectomy and just avoid all that altogether.
The doctor Hogan visited is listed with Mercy Health System, and Mercy provided this statement. As a Catholic healthcare system, Mercy abides by the ethical and religious directives for the Catholic healthcare services. With the Supreme Court ruling on Roe v. Wade, we will continue to provide excellent healthcare consistent with those directives. In Joplin, Jalen Banks, KOAM News.
Some men in other areas have also run into similar situations. A clinic in Florida has seen vasectomy appointments double for men ages 30 or younger with no children since that court ruling. The planned closure of the railroad overpass on Rangeline Road in Joplin has been delayed due to some construction scheduling issues. It had been scheduled to close this coming Monday to allow contractor crews to demolish the bridge and begin work on a new one. Authorities have not yet announced a new closure date. Checking in with Nick Kelly now for a first look at the weather.
Kept quiet once again for today, Dad, with all the sunshine with dry air. Got us out of the 60s, if you could believe that, this morning. Right back into the mid-90s this afternoon. Fortunately, we are keeping the skies quiet not only for the next few hours, but for the entire evening and even going into the overnight hours. And we can thank high pressure at the surface working over northern Missouri. That's what's going to keep us quiet for this evening at the very least. And also, it's giving us mainly an easterly breeze, but it doesn't change the fact that it's still hot out there. We've got everybody in the lower 90s for the most part right now, but still compared to the other day, these numbers aren't too terribly hotter, anywhere from 2 to about 7 degrees hotter than where we were the other day. But with dry air still in place, we'll easily get out of the 90s this evening, down through the 80s, 70s. I'm thinking most of us will bottom out at around 68 degrees now, but I'm tracking more heat in the forecast, but maybe some rain chances we can catch up on. Details in a bit.
See you then. Not everyone has a cool home to help them escape the heat. The homeless community is finding different ways to stay cool during the heat advisories. Joplin-based homeless shelter Souls Harbor knows how harmful the weather can be.
And it's like, okay, I need to get in. And for us, it's like, okay, maybe we can plant a seed of Jesus and help you through, you know.
Souls Harbor helps the homeless community handle extreme temperatures in part by offering water bottles and helping manage cooling stations around Joplin. Folks in the four-state area gathered to show off their livestock. The annual Jasper County Fair kicked off today and displayed a variety of animals, including cows and goats, as you see here. The event includes a cornhole tournament, live music, vendors, and various shows with animals. Visitors of any age are welcome.
We're trying to get the kids more interested at an earlier age so that they're wanting to show and to be involved in agriculture to keep it alive.
Kids were encouraged to pet and get to know the animals. That fair runs through Friday. The last event is market sale, where buyers bid on the children's animals. Coming up, details about a new cancer screening blood test offered at Mercy Hospital. Plus, we take a trip to Holiday Lanes in Pittsburgh to check out a Special Olympics bowling competition. Mercy Hospital and Grail LLC today announced plans to offer a multi-cancer early detection blood test. Grail's Galler test uses advanced testing capabilities to detect early cancer signals of more than 50 types of cancer. Mercy says this is a first of its kind test.
It actually looks for DNA markers, so a genomic or gene marker that is produced by different types of cancer cells depending on the type of cancer they are. So every time a cancer cell starts replicating, it starts throwing off these DNA markers.
The official says recommended cancer screenings in the U.S. currently cover only 5 types of cancer: breast, cervical, colon, lung, and prostate, and can screen just one at a time. For some, learning history might be a little bit boring, but the Crawford County Historical Museum wants to make it kind of wacky. The museum hosts their last Wacky Wednesday of the summer. The theme for today was County Fair, with jolly trolleys, snow cones, yard games with help from PSU's athletics. You could also pet puppies or even paint a poodle. The hands-on activities, the children learn history and have a little bit of fun at the same time.
Well, there's a lot of history here in Crawford County, and exposing it to young people directly like this is a real effective way of getting the past across to younger people.
To learn more about upcoming events with the Crawford County Historical Museum, visit our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Kansas Special Olympics hosted a regional bowling competition at Pittsburgh's Holiday Lanes. KOAM's Sagun Bamadali was there and has more.
The Kansas Special Olympics kicked off its Southeast Kansas regional bowling competition at Pittsburgh Holiday Lanes. Erin Fletcher, the Director of Grants and Development for Special Kansas, says events like this are important for athletes around the community who are eager to compete.
It's really important for these events to be in our area, so our athletes from around the area can come to someplace actually pretty local and compete against each other, but then also not just compete, but get to see some of their friends, get to be part of the community as far as having the community come out and celebrate them. So it's really nice for the community to come out and celebrate their achievements.
Dozens of athletes came out to throw some strikes. Jay On has competed in the Paralympics, and he says bowling offers him a chance to grow.
I enjoy bowling because it's a good learning competition to bowl against other people.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Nhsga, KOAM News.
The bowling competition will continue at Holiday Lanes tomorrow. A little bit later, we're going to hear from former Oklahoma Sooners quarterback Baker Mayfield on his new home.
But first, I'm tracking even hotter temperatures for tomorrow, but hopefully some rain chances by the weekend. Forecast next. Thanks to all this dry air in place, even though it led to a hot afternoon with highs back in the lower to middle 90s, it did help us out by starting us off on a mild note this morning. A lot of us starting out in the lower to middle 60s, a lot of us between 62 and 65 degrees. Most of all, we'll certainly take it because it's July, and we all know the numbers have to get back to the hot side of things again. In fact, going even hotter as we go through the next few days. Plus, I want to keep an eye on the Drought Tracker. This is going to get a fresh update tomorrow, and we'll see if the rain that we picked up on Tuesday can help prevent these dry conditions from spreading out and covering more of the area. But in the meantime, none of us are under an immediate drought per se, but we're still a little bit on the dry side and could certainly use some rain chances. If you're hoping Thursday might be the day, unfortunately, I haven't seen mostly sunny skies locked in for us, but I am watching potential rain chances at times for the coming weekend. But even with those rain chances, we're going to plan on temperatures, however, staying on the hot side of things. At least we're looking okay from a couple of our cameras. We got the live look from Lender Chevrolet Cadillac from the southeast side of Joplin. Traffic on 44 running smoothly, and 7th and Rangeline looking good, mostly clear skies up top. Sitting at 93. Feels like 91 though, actually, with that northeast breeze at 8. We have not really dealt with the heat index at all today, even though temperatures have trended hotter because of the humidity. Quite low at 27%. Everyone is mainly around 90 to 95 degrees, but a couple of spots like Iola, Fort Scott, and Nevada, you're already trying to sneak back into the upper 80s. But no matter what your number is, these numbers aren't particularly so much hotter compared to the other day. They're only running 2 to 8 degrees warmer than where we were at this time last night. Eventually, though, with the clear sky still in place and the dry air still in place, we'll get out of the 90s, 80s, 70s. I'm thinking most of us around 68 for tonight. Looking at the big picture, going back to the surface map, here's the area high pressure keeping us quiet. To the northwest, though, a cold front that might want to play a role in our forecast by the weekend, along with some building upper level waves that will ride around the upper level ridge and try to come close to the region with the northwest flow. But in the short term, that upper level ridge is going to try to build back in, and as an end result, we're going to trend mild again for tonight, but we're going to start tomorrow morning out on a warmer note compared to this morning with lows in the upper 60s. Then I'm seeing temperatures already pushing into the lower 90s by noon and pushing into the upper 90s. I think a lot of us will stay shy of hitting 100 degrees with highs tomorrow, topping out around 99. Keeping quiet for Friday morning, but with partly sunny skies and the first of many upper level waves trying to come in. Can't rule out a stray shower or storm, but it's mainly going to be hot and partly sunny for your Friday with highs again in the upper 90s. But let's watch the skies Saturday and Sunday. It's going to stay hot, sure, but hopefully these better waves with the front close by can help us cash in on some more much needed rain chances, with potentially the better day for any rain chances looking like Sunday. But 99 tomorrow, 97 Friday, back to near 100 on Saturday, 93 on Sunday, Dow. But even after that system does its thing, we're going to go back into the mid to upper 90s early next week.
Because it's that time of year when I guess we should expect that sort of thing.
Yeah, anytime the month ends with a Y, it's got to be hot around here.
I guess so. Thanks. Still ahead, a local golf standout earns a top 40 finish, facing more than 300 state champions from all across the country. And the Kansas City Royals hit the field against the Tigers, aiming for back-to-back series wins. Jacob Leonard has that and more up next.
The Joplin Outlaws swept a doubleheader from the Chillicothe Mudcats last night. With those 2 wins, the Outlaws are now 16-18 overall. Just 1 game back of first place in the Mink League South Division. And Joplin tries to stay rolling, stay within a game of first, wrapping up their series with the Mudcats tonight. That one will begin at 7 o'clock at Joe Becker Stadium. We'll have the latest from the game right here tonight at 10. The Kansas City Royals have actually been pretty good in the last week. They've won 3 out of their last 4 and 5 of their last 8 games. Now today, they finish up their series with Detroit, aiming to take 3 of 4 from the Tigers. Emmanuel Rivera with a liner there. Scores Andrew Benintendi to tie the game up at 1. Then Edward Oliveras on the ground A little trouble at second. Hunter Dozier and Rivera both score. Makes it 3-1 Kansas City. And more miscues for the Tigers in the 5th inning. Dozier with the fly ball. Riley Green can't make the play, smacks into the wall. Bobby Witt Jr. scores on that. Check it out again. Pretty hard collision out there. Royals win 5-2. It's their 2nd straight series win. In the National League, the St. Louis Cardinals hit the field for Game 2, their 3-game series with the Dodgers. The Cards took Game 1 last night, 7-6. Tonight's game begins in about 20 minutes. We'll have the latest from this one tonight at 10. Former Oklahoma Sooners standout Baker Mayfield held his first press conference on Tuesday since joining the Carolina Panthers. Mayfield was traded from Cleveland to Carolina last week. Mayfield was the #1 overall pick out of Oklahoma back in 2018. Spent the first 4 years of his pro career in Cleveland, throwing for 14,000 yards and 92 touchdowns, and also leading the Browns to their first playoff win in 26 years. And now he's in Carolina, where, by the way, he will turn around and face the Browns in the team's season opener this fall.
Anytime you get to put the pads on, for the first time, it's live fire. It's always a great time. Obviously, it's going to be a special one. It's going to be a home game and playing against a former team. A similar situation of what I've gone through in the past when transferring from college to college. So got to handle it the best way possible. And, my job is to put our team in the best position to win. And however I can help do that, that's what I'm going to do.
Chanute's Drayton Cleaver is competing at the Nhsga National Invitational this week in Pinehurst, North Carolina. Now, that's a tournament featuring the top high school golfers across the country who have won their respective state championships as a team or individual. Here's how he did. Today was the final round of the 54-hole tournament. Cleaver went out and shot a 1/73 today. That moved him up 20 spots in the standings. He finishes tied for 34th in a field of more than 330 competitors. You can check out our full story with Cleaver on the sports page at KOAMnewsnow.com. And that's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Gary Vickers served in the U.S. Army in 1968 and 1969. His hometown, Harwood, Missouri. And we're proud to salute Staff Sergeant Gary Vickers, a 4-state hero. And of course, as always, you can learn about lots of other heroes. They're from all across this area. They've served in various eras of our nation's history. Some are serving right now. Just go to our website. It's KOAMnewsnow.com. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. New numbers show U.S. prices hit a 4-year high in June, with the cost of necessities far outpacing wage hikes. Also, a rare in-person meeting between Russian and Ukrainian officials. And going to find out how hot is too hot for the body to cool down on its own. That and a lot more, of course, it's coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. It's time to celebrate a favorite finger food that's hard to say no to. Today is National French Fry Day. Yeah, there are two versions of how fries came to America. One is that supposedly Thomas Jefferson first served potatoes in the French manner at the White House in 1802. The second theory is that World War I soldiers stationed in Belgium brought the idea back with them. That would make them Belgian fries, wouldn't it? But at any rate, today Americans eat about 30 pounds of French fries per person each year. Poor planning on someone's part, I think. Why is Friday on a Wednesday?
That it should be like Friday every year. Yeah.
Well,
it seems like
it is, in one sense, it is FRY day every day for an awful lot of people.
It's true.
The weather is going to be frying out there for a while.
Yeah, but once we get out of the upper 60s, that's when we're going to go back into the upper 90s starting tomorrow. I want to watch for possible rain chances by the weekend.
Final sports note.
The Royals finish up the first half of the baseball season at Toronto. There are 10 Royals players who can't make the trip because they're unvaccinated.
Thanks for joining us. See you at 10. Let's make it a great evening.